President Cyril Ramaphosa has removed the Honourable Andrew Whitfield MP from the position of Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition.
Let me also express my appreciation and commendation of the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, for developing the testicular fortitude to remove the Deputy Minister of the DA, who was ineffective and incompetent.
You are watching Heads Up SA, your plug for all things politics, power moves and accountability. Let's get into the drama unfolding in South Africa's national government. Deputy Minister of Police Andrew Whitfield is out, fired by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The DA calls it unjust, unfair and politically motivated.
The Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen, said in Parliament this afternoon. So the meeting took place, we've made a decision, our leader conveyed that decision in Parliament, and now the ball is in the court of the President. It is the actions of the President that is definitely putting this GNU in jeopardy. He is not governing alone anymore. He cannot just go and hire and fire our ministers without speaking to us or without giving us opportunity to engage with him properly. As I've said, John Steenhuisen, in good faith, asked the President for 24 hours before he respond. But 3 hours after that, the minister already received, the deputy minister received his letter to say that he's been dismissed. So that was definitely not done in good faith.
The reason? Technically, Whitfield allegedly failed to get presidential permission for an overseas trip back in February. But here's the kicker. He did ask for permission. When no one responded, he went anyway and later apologized. Still, Ramaphosa pulled the trigger and fired him just 3 hours after giving the DA leader John Steenhuisen a heads up. Now, the DA is fuming. They've given Ramaphosa 48 hours to fire multiple ANC ministers facing corruption allegations. They say if Whitfield can be fired over a travel permit, then surely these tainted ministers shouldn't be in cabinet at all.
I'm here at the Cape Town International Convention Centre, where I've just delivered a speech on the floor of the Parliamentary sitting in the budget vote debate around the firing yesterday of the DA Deputy Minister Andrew Whitfield by the President. And I think if we start to dig a little bit deeper into why Deputy Minister Andrew Whitfield was really fired, one will see it was because he was doing his job. He was asking uncomfortable questions about the lottery tender award by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. He had asked some very uncomfortable questions about the transformation fund that is busy being set up by that department, and he had raised serious concerns about some of the persons being nominated for the board of the IDC. I believe that these are the real reasons why Minister Whitfield has had to be moved from that position. Now, it is very clear that this cannot stand. So, we have given the President 48 hours to act similarly against the other members of his party who are guilty or facing serious charges or who are mentioned in the Zondo Commission report.
The ministers the DA wants gone, let's break them down. Former Minister of Justice, Thembismelane, she's been accused of interfering in NPA operations and allegedly protecting politically connected individuals from prosecution. Opposition parties have reportedly raised the red flags about her links to state capture cover-ups. Let's not even forget the VPS scandal.
We're at Cape Town Central Police Station this morning to lay criminal charges of corruption against Thembismelane for her involvement in the Eskom Vitrovian scandal. She's alleged to have received in excess of 700,000 rand for corrupt dealings that Vitrovian had with Eskom, billing them at ridiculously inflated prices, billing them for people who didn't exist. Simelane's signature appears on the first invoice, and therefore she's directly implicated in this debacle. And in the light of her involvement with VBS initially and now with this Vitrovian scandal, it's really just time for her to go. And we're laying charges in the hopes that it will move the President to do something constructive.
Then Deputy Minister of Energy, Nobuhle Nkabane, facing scrutiny over irregular contracts in the renewable energy sector and alleged involvement in dodgy procurement deals. Some whistleblowers even claim she had links to ghost projects that drained millions.
I'm struggling to understand what line could possibly exist here, because essentially the minister is still not saying, "Askisi South Africa that I lied to you, Askisi Parliament that I lied to you." She's calling it a misunderstanding. I find it very hard to believe that the minister.
Number 3. Deputy Minister of Human Settlement, David Mahlobo. Known for his role during Zuma era as Minister of State Security, his name constantly pops up in state capture reports. He was linked to intelligence abuses and the infamous SSA looting that funded factional battles inside the ANC. Last but not least, advisor in presidency, Mduduzi Manana, a repeat offender in scandals from assault charges to tender corruption, yet somehow he's still close to the center of power. Steenhuisen says if Ramaphosa doesn't act in 48 hours, there will be grave consequences. What are those? We will have to wait and see. The DA says this shows a clear double standard. You fire a deputy minister who apologized for a travel slip-up, but protect ministers facing millions in graft allegations. Where's the logic, Mr. President? They believe Whitfield was punished not for the trip, but for being vocal against corruption in a department haunted by scandals, and for questioning the shady transformation fund.
Questions about the lottery tender award by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. He had asked some very uncomfortable questions about the transformation fund that is busy being set up by that department, and he had raised serious concerns about some of the persons being nominated for the...
Interestingly, despite all this drama, the DA still voted in favor of the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. This means they are still prioritizing national budgets over petty politics, at least for now. Is this the beginning of the end for the ANC-DA working relationship? Or will Ramaphosa cave and clean house? We will keep you updated. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more political breakdowns right here on Heads Up SA. Stay sharp, stay woke. Keep your heads up, SA.
Let me also express my appreciation and commendation of the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, for developing the testicular fortitude to remove the Deputy Minister of the DA who was ineffective and incompetent.
But the facts in this matter contradict this flimsy reasoning. In fact, on the 12th of February, Deputy Minister Whitfield had written to the President requesting permission to travel. 10 days later, he had not received a reply or any response whatsoever about the trip. Whitfield subsequently wrote...
Order, honourable members. May I ask the Chief Whip of the ANC to do the same, please? Otherwise, we are not going to get through the speech. Let's be fair, honourable members, let's be fair. Even if you disagree with what the honourable member is saying, the honourable member, in terms of the rights and the Constitution, have the right to say what he wants to say. Order. Please proceed.
Whitfield subsequently wrote to the President to apologise if he had caused offence. Again, he received no response. Then yesterday, months after the incident, and without a further word on it, the President unilaterally removed a DA Deputy Minister without even giving his largest coalition partner an opportunity to discuss it with the member or his party.
Order, honourable members.
Now, according to the President's spokesperson, this move is not part of a broader reshuffle. And there can therefore be no other conclusion to be drawn that this is a calculated assault on the second largest party in the governing coalition. But
order, honourable members.
What makes matters worse is that this unilateral action is a result and a product of a flagrant double standard. While a DA Deputy Minister is removed for not getting a response to seeking permission to travel, there are members in the Cabinet who are implicated in the VBS scandal and looting. There are members in the Cabinet. There are members in the Cabinet.
Order, honourable members.
who, despite apparently misleading Parliament over an attempt to deploy corrupt cadres to CETA boards, remains in the cabinet. Serial underperformers and people implicated in state capture continue to sit around the cabinet table. Now, instead of being summarily fired, like DM Whitfield was, these ministers get an opportunity to submit a report to the President on their behaviour. In the past, even ministers who had serious public protective findings against them were merely admonished or had their pay docked. Yet a DA Deputy Minister is dismissed with the flimsiest of excuses. Are the people of South Africa expected to accept that fraudsters, corruption accused and Zondo accused are protected while Deputy Minister Andrew Whitfield is removed? But perhaps there's something even deeper at play here. Like all DA ministers and deputy ministers, contrary to what the Honourable Tambo said, Andrew Whitfield was succeeding in his job. He had opposed the attempt to make suspect appointments to the IDC board. He was raising uncomfortable questions about the Transformation Fund and the opportunities it provides for looting. And yes, he was asking the uncomfortable questions about the Lotto Tender Award. Now, given this flagrant double standard, one is left with no choice but to conclude that hard-working DA members of the executive are fired for fighting corruption, not for committing corruption. For being good at their jobs rather than incompetent. Now, if this situation is not corrected, it will go down as the greatest political mistake in modern South African history.